Hey everybody, this is Chad Jordan from Sport Clips. This is another edition of the Hall of Fame podcast. And I am here with one of my favorite people at Sport Clips. You'll find out why in a minute. But she is a definite Hall of Famer, a member of the artistic team, a star coach in the Pennsylvania and West Virginia area. So without further ado, I'm going to have her introduce herself.
Well, thank you for the awesome intro before that. Hi guys, I am Maria Jones, like Chad had said, area coach for Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia, and a part of our national artistic team, which has been awesome.
And sometimes I'll interview, it's funny, sometimes I'll interview people and we might have just met or we hung out for a little bit. So poor Maria is recovering from 2 straight days of taking me all over Pittsburgh and then to West Virginia today, and we've had a lot of time in the car. We've visited 11 stores or something like that.
Yeah.
A furniture store together. So we've had some good times.
We've been through lots of Mountain
what
Dew.
is it? Permante's Brothers.
Permane Brothers.
Okay, so
lots of Mountain Dew.
So I'm an honorary Yinzer now.
Yes.
Okay, I
yes.
think it is. So from hanging out with this Pennsylvania native, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Pittsburgh.
So what I'm hoping to accomplish today. And by the way, hopefully, if you're on YouTube, hi, we're waving at you right now. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen, obviously. Most of you are probably listening on iTunes or Google Play. But what I want to accomplish today is I want to find out. There's a journey that everybody takes to get to Sport Clips and have a successful career here, and no 2 journeys are the same. And I want to continue to paint that big picture that no matter where you are right now, if you're a team member or you just started or you've been here a while, there is a path for a very successful career at Sport Clips. And Maria is certainly an example of that. It's not a one-size cookie-cutter model. We will take, no matter your personality or maybe even your skill level when you come here, we will make you a star if you try your best and try hard enough. And Maria is walking proof of that. So first and foremost, artistic team, big deal at Sport Clips. Is there 9 people? How many?
Yes, 9 of us.
Okay, there's 9 of y'all on 9 of Yins on there. Okay.
Yes.
And was this your first year?
This is my first
Okay,
year. Yes.
so
So I am one of the 5 new members.
All right. So this was we're recording this in May. Our national convention has just happened. So this was this your first huddle performing on the big stage?
It was, and
Okay.
this was actually my first performance on the stage with the artistic team at the
Whoa!
huddle.
So you didn't get any, because there was no caper or anything like that you guys did
Right.
this year.
Right. So we've had trainings where
Mhm.
we've met in Georgetown at headquarters, and
But trainings are not the same as a live show in front of thousands of
there's
screaming
not 3,000 people
Yeah.
in the trainings.
How did it go? What were your impressions?
It was amazing. I thought going into it I would be a lot more nervous and scared
Mhm.
than when it came down to it. It was just pure adrenaline and fun. It
Mhm.
was so awesome to be out there, and I could hear my team screaming for
Yeah.
me, and that just meant so much.
Your team was sitting kind of close, so that,
Right.
I mean,
helps.
poor Frankie, who is her California team's all the way in the back.
Right.
But
And
she-
we
she
still
did
heard
it.
them,
Yeah,
so she
yeah,
gets a
that's
lot.
true, yeah.
She does too.
Did everything go like clockwork up there? Were there any hiccups that we didn't see because you guys pulled it off so well?
None that I really even noticed myself that there were any hiccups. I think it all went according to what we had planned. We do a lot of training
Mhm.
during the week of the huddle.
Yeah.
Early mornings down there, finding out the routine with our amazing dancer guys that we had with us. But it went great. Everybody did their part and it was successful.
So what does it mean to be on the artistic team? How do you get selected? Like, what can you just give me a recap of what your experience has been like getting there and how you got there?
Sure. So it means that you get to represent Sport Clips nationally. We get to go around to the big beauty shows, hair shows around the country representing Sport Clips in recruiting formats, and then also in education where we may be again on a stage or having smaller educational events for different shows. So it is something that you have to be a coach to be able to join. And kind of like any other thing, you apply. You know, it is a 2-year term, and then you can do up to 4 years. So the artistic team has actually been around now for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I had a sister coach we're under the same area developer, who I got to see on it the first 4 years. And
You want to give her a shout out?
it's Andrea,
Okay.
my sister coach, and I loved watching her and cheering her on. And she said, you know, hey, you got to go try for this too. You're going to be awesome up there, so you really need to apply. And as nervous as I was,
What's the application process like? What do you do?
so you send in a video of yourself teaching All-Star haircutting
Okay.
to talk and do haircutting at the same time. And then the more intimidating part was, at the coaches huddle, you sit down in an interview in front of Julie Vargas and
VP of Career Opportunities.
right, and Julian, I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julian, the world-renowned Julian. So he's a
The
big
one and only.
right. He is the guy from Paul Mitchell that helps us create all of it and get us in order and know us what to do in the existing artistic team before everybody was done. So
And you're doing what? You're doing
that was
what
an
with-
interview.
Okay,
You know, you
so
sit
you're not-
with, so it's like 7 to 10 people just watching you talk and.
But you're not
Like-
cutting hair or
No, this was
teaching
just
or anything?
right. This was
Okay.
just the interview of asking questions.
In Georgetown? Or
This was
where's
at the coaches
interview?
huddle.
Okay, so yeah, so
Yes.
in Texas.
It was in Texas, yes,
And that's
so-
when they're making their final decisions, right? Because isn't the announcement at the coaches huddle?
This past year, they announced it on Facebook after
Okay,
the
okay.
coaches huddle. So they met with us there. Those who had applied,
Uh-huh.
they met with us there to go through that interview process
Mm-hmm.
face to face, which I get. But that was probably the most
So
intimidating.
did you really find out on Facebook, or had somebody kind of said, Psst, by the way?
No, I really found out on Facebook.
All right.
So they told us they would announce it on a Friday,
Mm.
and you know I'm like
Yeah,
refreshing my
uh-huh.
feed all day, like
Your network goes down like right at the wrong
Right.
time.
Am I on there? And then you look one time and you have all these notifications, and it's just like it was pure again adrenaline and
Mhm.
excitement. It was awesome to be known. And actually, at first, I was everybody's scared of rejection, you know. So
Mhm.
back and forth, like, can I really be on stage? Can I really do this? And my husband was the one, you know, like, I can tell you want to do it. You
Mhm.
need to at least try. You need
Yeah.
to at least apply. Don't let yourself talk you out of it
Right.
by just thinking that you might not make it. And I'm so happy that I did.
Well, you're certainly deserving of being on there, and I've said this a number of times during my trip to Pittsburgh. This is one of my favorite markets. I think it's one of the best markets
Well, thank you.
in all of Sport Clips. We've been to, there's 30-some stores in the market, right?
Mhm.
And we've been to about a third of them.
Right?
And they are just incredible stores. The team members, the attitudes, all of that, their
We have
their
a-
capability. And I know what you're going to say is we have amazing team.
We
You
do.
do, but you're a big part of that.
Well, thank you.
And your role in training them and checking in on them and helping them and guiding them, you're doing something right. You're doing a lot of things right. So there's a reason that when we named this podcast Hall of Fame podcast and then decided who we wanted to be on it, and you're on that list for sure. So first of all, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for chauffeuring me around safely, might I
Of
add,
course.
with all this Pittsburgh construction and tunnels, and it's
Bridges,
yeah,
tunnels.
very intimidating around
Yes.
here. But
At least
so,
no snow.
so what I've tried not to do is to pick your brain too much on your whole story, because I want to just find out about it as we're talking here. So take me back a little bit, if you will. The whole, I believe, if I've got this story straight this far though, that you've always wanted to be a stylist, because went
Yes.
beauty school. If I think I heard it right, you in high school you went.
Yes.
So give me kind of your path.
So I started beauty school at a technical school during high school, Parkway Vo-Tech, and the way that program is set up is you start off in 10th grade and you go 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, and I would go there in the morning for 3 hours, and then I would go to high school for the afternoon and do my, core academic classes there. So I knew, yes, I always wanted.
How many people are in this kind of program? It doesn't feel like there'd be millions of them. I mean,
You would think there would be a lot more. I'd say we probably had about 25 to 30 in our group there. So I mean, still a good amount, but it was awesome. And at that time, the stylist dream was kind of like a right now thing. For the parents, it was more of, okay, you do this,
right,
but then you're going to go to college.
Yeah.
So make sure you still go to college. And I stuck to my word. I went to a community college for about 3 years. And then I became a coach and said I was going to take a small break, and kind of
years later, here you are.
Here I am, and that's okay. And I am grateful for the years I did put into that. So I graduated. I actually had my cosmetology license before graduating high school.
So, were you in a salon? I mean, what were you doing?
So Sport Clips was my first job.
Okay.
Not just my first salon job, but my first job ever.
What year is this that we're talking about?
So the first Sport Clips opened in Pittsburgh, or in our area, in 2005. So.
And this is you.
That was me. I opened with the very first store here.
I wonder if Sport Clips is waiting to come to Pittsburgh until Maria, what was your maiden name again? Cousins was ready, and then they're like, all right, now we got the perfect person picked out, hand-picked. So Gordon said, all right, now it's time.
He knew.
All right, so 2005.
Yeah, and
PA 101.
PA 101, and funny story there is, my mom. I turned 16 in March. Store opened in April, so this is end of March. I turned 16. Mom's like, time for a job. Okay. So
Man, she's like kicking you out of the nest already.
She was, but time for a job. Start to get some responsibility. So I was ready, and I was fine with that. And she said, I saw the place saying they're going to be opening. Let's go check it out.
Sports Clips.
And, So we go, and she stays in the car. She said, go in and get an application. And I go in, and I come out, and I said, I'm hired. And she's like, it doesn't work like that. You're mistaken. You got an application. You'll come back. And no, I was hired on as a coordinator from the moment I filled out my application. And as looking back now, you hire a lot of people during the grand opening process.
Right, so the store literally hadn't opened yet? Or
they did not open yet. I was there for the grand opening process. So it was construction being built, the coming soon, big banner was in front, and I walked in for an application.
And you started as a coordinator. How long before you could cut hair there?
So I was a coordinator for about a year and a half. To about 2 years, and then right as I was turning about 18 was when I was finishing up my hours and became a stylist.
And stayed at 101? Did you go to another?
Yes, I have stayed at 101 my entire time. You can still find me there sometimes now.
Yeah, well, that's right. Okay, so that's the
one. They can't kick me out if they want to.
So on a Saturday.
On a Saturday, some Saturdays you can still find me, and some clients wait for those Saturdays, which has been awesome.
I can vouch. We went to 101, and while there, one of her clients came in, and his eyes lit up, thinking she was there that on an off day to cut hair, and of course she wasn't. We were just stopping in.
Daniel,
but he was in good hands.
He was, yes. He knows that he can still go in and be in very good hands with that team.
So how long are you there before the whole rise to, I think, assistant manager and then eventually cook?
Yes.
How long does it
take? So I was with the store I was a stylist for about a year before I became an assistant manager for the store. And then after working for the company for 5 years, our market grew enough that we had an opportunity for a coach. Before that, we were the only store, and then we started to grow little by little. And at first we were actually more of a corporate store until an area developer took over the territory as it grew. So as that happened, we had room for a coach, and kind of like the artistic team process, they put out there, does anybody want to have this position? And it was very part-time at first.
What drew you to wanting to see about being a coach? I don't know enough about coaches. I wish I knew everything, but you're not in a store every day, And you love cutting hair, obviously, and you
I
love
do.
dealing with your clients. So what was the appeal about being a coach as well that kind of made you want to go for it?
I love helping people.
Mhm.
I love what I do, and I did love what I did then, and I wanted to help other people love what they do.
So,
I,
and training them and
Yes,
guiding, okay.
I feel like the more I could help them become successful, the happier that they could be at their job. And I believe it's a revolving cycle. If you're happy at work, you're more successful.
Mhm.
And then the more successful you are at work,
Yeah.
usually the happier you are. And the more clients want to be in your chair, the happier you are there.
Mhm.
So I felt that if I could build other people's confidence, that was something that personally myself, I went into beauty school a little bit too, because like, hey, I need some more self-confidence. This will
Mhm.
help. So finding the stylists that if I could help them build up that confidence and become very successful, I was like, this is my calling.
Mhm.
This is really what I need.
So when you transition, how hard is that at first? I mean, now you're a pro at it. I don't want to say old pro because you're still young, but the transition from, all right, I'm cutting hair every day. I was gonna say 6 days a week, but it's probably 8 days a week. You're cutting hair a ton to, all right, now I'm cutting hair some days and coaching other days, and now it's basically you're coaching most of the time, and on Saturdays you might be cutting hair. How tough was that transition to being a coach?
It actually was not that tough for me, considering it was a kind of long process until we
Mhm.
grew big enough that I
Mhm.
was a full-time coach.
Okay, so you weren't doing
Um,
training, like probably right now you're probably doing a training how many times a week?
Right now, I at least have about 3 training classes a week.
Okay.
Depending on the week, depends, but.
Back in the day, it was probably every 3 weeks you're doing training or
Right,
something,
yeah,
right?
when I first started, it was maybe 2 classes a month.
Mhm.
So, I was able to still be full-time in the store, and I was able to still be an assistant manager. And then it came to, once a week, and then twice a week I would do classes or be a coach. And at first I stepped down as assistant as I felt I wasn't
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to be there to open and close and do the duties that I needed.
Mhm.
And then it moved to, and I say it was easy, but I'm still there.
Mhm.
So it really hasn't been to the point where I can completely leave, and it's because I just love it. I love my clients, I love being behind the chair, I love my team that I work with there. I love my team everywhere, but it's hard to stop doing what you love.
I find now having spoken to a number of coaches who were either a manager or assistant manager or had been in the store a lot, that's what they miss the most is being part of a
Mhm.
team, right? And so they feel like now I'm a coach, I'm not necessarily in a store, so you kind of have almost the best of both worlds, it feels like.
Yeah, it does.
So can you describe, I mean, are you still considered a newlywed? How long's it been?
It's almost 2 years. This October
Okay.
will be 2 years.
Okay.
So
All right.
we
Yeah,
can
you're old
still,
married couple at this
right,
point, but
yeah.
so how are you finding that balance of now being married? You got a pit bull.
I do.
What's the
My
doggy's name?
Kashi is my
Okay,
baby,
okay,
my
all
fur
right,
baby.
your fur baby. Okay.
Yes.
So you have a little family.
Yes.
So how is that balance working for you? And are you able to kind of set time boundaries and all of that kind of stuff with your role?
My husband is awesome. He's very supportive. Like I had mentioned, he was someone that encouraged me to
Mhm.
take on more and join the artistic team, or at least apply for that. He sees how happy I am in what I do, and he loves that. So he is very supportive of me. Even though we're newlyweds, we have been together 10 years. So we've learned over the years how to balance our, we've had a lot of different schedules over the years. Being a full-time stylist, we work different times. His schedules have changed over the years, so you just make it work. I mean, you find time for each other when you can, and you always find time for each other. I don't want to say when you can, because, he's first and foremost, and he does the same for me. So as long as we always put each other first, we know that when we are doing other things for work or anything else,
it's not that you're mad at that person or
Right.
not thinking about them, but
yes.
you're taking care of your business.
And when people come in and bring him Permanis home.
Oh yeah, no, he's
When-
eating well.
Yeah.
Maybe he might have to get a second round of that today. But so something I'm interested in finding out from you is so you're this coach on this. I was gonna say path to stardom, but you're already there. You're on the artistic team, and you're a big deal. But what do you wish team members in the store knew about or coaches? Or are there any perceptions that maybe it's a little weird for you because you were the first coach in the market, right? Or one of the first coaches, if I remember the story right, from what you just said. But what do you wish they knew? So, like, when you walk in a store, I wish every stylist team member knew this about me or about coaches in general.
We all start off the same page.
Mm-hmm.
We all start off in beauty school, even though we may have taken different paths to get to Sport Clips or to find the career, the salon or store that we love. We all start off the same, and if you're passionate about what you do, that's how you make it and you get so far. So that I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I still see myself as, if I'm in the store doing a success check, I'm honestly more of a coordinator, because I don't want the stylist to feel like I'm just there to be anyone above them, but I'm one of them.
So you're literally, when you come in for a success check, are you vacuuming?
Oh,
are
yes.
you checking in clients?
Vacuuming,
Okay.
making steam towels if I need to. I'll even run to Starbucks for them if I need to. So.
Well, you have that on record, everybody.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, the area, the West Virginia area. She's. I have it on good authority. Also, you'll do Krispy Kreme runs. Or peace, love, and
there
little
we go.
donuts.
Maybe yes. Krispy Kreme is a little hard to find in the Pittsburgh area. We only have about one, so I can't always guarantee that. But I do love to bring treats. I show up with cookies or donuts at times, and not every visit, but it's nice for the surprises.
What are some of the challenges that you find yourself having to navigate around being a coach? Is it the distance and the travel that you got to do, kind of getting from store to store, the trainings, or what are some of the things that if you had a magic wand, you'd wave them away, but you find yourself overcoming?
Yeah, I'd say the distance of some of the stores. If I had if I could just have more time in a day sometimes, to not just show up at a store for a success check, but to show up just to say, hey, I just want to say hi, I just want to come see how you guys are doing, and not let them think, oh, every time she's here, it's to look and see what's going on.
Right.
But
you could hang.
Right. So if anything, just a little more time, to get maybe a little more personal with the teams.
I got to tell you, so from now going to 11 stores, I will, your recall and your ability to know who's going to be in the store, not just the managers, but assistant managers, team members. I don't even know how long they've been there, but you're making me look good, because I'll go in there acting like I know everybody by first name and all this stuff, and really it's you. So it seems like you have pretty good relationships with the stores.
Well, thank you. I try. I think it helps when they are recognized from all around. Our managers do a great job recognizing their team, but when you have someone that you only see sometimes every once in a while, it's nice that if they can remember you or something about you, I feel like it helps. I hope that it helps them realize that they are a huge part of every team.
I think that's one of the things that made this trip so fun, is that you literally got to kind of let your hair down, and we were just going to hang out with stores. You didn't have to do a success check.
Yes, I loved it.
We were just going there and checking in.
Yeah.
What are some of the things? This is amazing that you 101. And you've been here, and you were one of 101.
Yes.
You've been here since the first store in the state opened. So you've got to see, what is that, 14 years ago? Yeah, 2005, right?
Yes.
So you've got to see Sport Clips catch fire, and this is just a great market for us. So, what are some of the things that you've seen over the year? Can you, over the years, describe to me what it's been like to look at it from this perspective, instead of somebody like me who breezes in and now sees everything and is like, oh, what a great area, but you've kind of seen it take off. So walk me through that process if you can.
It has been awesome to watch the growth. Just even at first, nobody knew. I would tell people I worked at Sport Clips, and they're like, "What's that? Can you sell me a baseball card?"
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Or you do sell jerseys, and at the time we
played
had
again.
some memorabilia on the wall,
right,
but not. I'm like, no, come in for a haircut. It's a great experience. You have to come see us. So to go from that to seeing advertisements on TV, the Pirates are our baseball team, and we
Mhm.
advertise with them,
Yeah.
and to see the growth it's been awesome. It's been so cool to see. You walk around and I have in uniform, and clients are like, "Oh, well, which one do you work at?
Yeah.
I go there. I should come see you." Or, "Hey, do you have a coupon? I see that you're from Sport
Uh-huh.
Clips." And which one? It's just really amazing to watch that growth happen.
It's got to feel like, I mean, there's got to be some pride. Can be, pride comes before a fall, but there's some but you can be proud as a parent too, proud of your kids. So there's got to be some proud moments for you of like ownership, where you are a big part of the success in this market. It's no coincidence that you're still here and this market is doing so well. So can you is that what it feels like when you're Kashi, what's your dog's name?
Kashi,
Okay,
yes.
when brings you the ball or whatever, and you're like, yes, I'm so proud of you, I love you so much. Is that kind of what this attitude that you take towards the growth here?
Definitely, yes. It is. It's been awesome, and I love that I can see even stylists that have started off and thinking, "Oh, I can't do this," and coming back and seeing if they come to another training class and they say, "Oh my gosh, from Get Your Game On, I had $4 in take home per client the week after," and hearing those things just makes me feel so nice that people are growing and realizing how great of a company it is, because it is. And when you can love what you're doing, like I said, it just makes everybody so much happier. So I do take a lot of pride in that we have become such a great market. We have 3 stores that have been platinum, 4, because one in West Virginia also, 4 stores that have been platinum within last year.
One that swears they're going to be $1 million store this year.
Oh, they will be.
Okay.
We're going to have $1 million store next year. If anyone doesn't know this already, we just won the Logan Trophy in this area. Yeah. So 108, shout out to PA 108 for winning that. And I really try not to take a lot of the pride, because it really is those teams are the ones doing all of the hard work. I'm not behind the chair 7 days a week anymore doing that. But I feel proud of their successes, and it makes me smile watching all of that.
That's why I get to come along and grab the horns and toot all the horns for everybody, because around Sport Clips, in fact, we've had other podcasts that we recorded during this trip, and they've all deflected to the team or whoever. The team leader says it's the manager says it's the team members. All of that. You're obviously saying it's the stylists and all of them, but from our perspective and from my perspective, coaches are a huge reason why Sport Clips is so popular across the country, and why don't tell other people, but coaches are my favorite people at Sport Clips. So just don't let that out. I'll tell you what, we'll cut that part out of the podcast. But what would you say? What is the perfect personality trait or type to make up a great coach?
You definitely have to be encouraging.
Okay.
I think that
not a nitpicker. I mean, you're doing success checks, but you
but you have
you're
to
not coming
focus
in to lay
on
the hammer down.
Right, what they're doing great at.
Okay.
Really being encouraging, lifting them up, and if there are things that they could improve, just really explaining what's in it for them, what it will do for them if they change maybe what they're doing. And I definitely have learned a lot within my ADs over the years. I love Rosemary Gozier. She has taught me a lot of that, and really to how to focus on the good, how to uplift. And I think that's a huge part about being a coach. When any coach, a lot of people think about their sporting coach growing up as a big part of their life, because they teach you certain lessons not just about that sport. And that's what I hope that stylists take back is, even if they're not with Sport Clips for life, even though I hope they all are, thinking back that,
you better be. I'm just putting that out there. If you're listening to this, you better be Sport Clips rock. But
that they're taking things back and really still holding on to them. So I think that being encouraging is one of the biggest things, and you have to be knowledgeable and stay up on the training yourself. Like I said, I've been on Sport Clips 14 years. I wouldn't be as great as I am now if I didn't have all of the other training throughout the years to stay up on the times and what's new and what's out, and and all of that. Too.
Well, I feel like from the coaches I know, certainly from knowing this about you, it's not just a job. You know, a job you clock in, you clock out. You don't really care what happens after hours. You only show up to do the bare minimum, you know, in a lot of
Right.
jobs. But it feels like this is life and
It is.
family.
It is. I definitely feel like it's family. Sport Clips has been my life.
Yeah.
Actually, at this
Half
point,
your life.
yes,
Yeah.
nearly pretty much half of my life has been with Sport Clips, and I couldn't be more blessed actually to have a better part of my big chunk of life to.
It's 60 years to go.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I told EJ he can't let go of me as I get too old
Right,
here. You
right.
know, you have to.
You can't put you out to pasture. I'll have to find, you'll
right.
find some use for you.
Right.
And I got a list of questions over here I'm getting ready to get to, but what kind of advice would you give maybe a manager? Most of your stores are just like you rattled them off, are through the roof, but there's others that they have a leap to make still.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of advice, now that you have such good stores in this market that have made that leap, what kind of advice, having seen those of that leap, would you give the stores that need to still kind of take that step up? What would you tell those managers they need to probably work on as just an overall group?
You know, a big part of the huddle this year was, and I was blessed to be a part of it with Brittany Fitzgerald, but do it with passion. If you're doing something, put your all into it. Because if you're going to just put half of yourself or just show up to clock in, you're not doing the team, the store, you're not really doing anything for even yourself. You know, if you're just working somewhere to do the minimum, you'll never really be happy. And when everybody says, you know, if you're happy at what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I truly believe that. I love what I do. I love that I can enjoy going to work and, you know, never have to dread that. So do what you do it with passion, and believe in yourself. You can always overcome anything that you think you cannot. Don't let any type of rejection hold you down, whether it's recommending something to a client or attempting at becoming the new store manager or anything. Keep trying. Get back up and keep trying. It never stop.
I like that. And hashtag dream job.
Yeah, hashtag dream job, yes.
This could be a dream job if you want it to be.
Oh,
And,
yes. It is a dream
proud
job.
to.
So if you have to work, you have to put your all into it. But when you do that, it gives right back to you.
I love it. All right. I know the last couple days you've barely, with your fingernails, been holding on because I've been wearing you out. We've been driving all over the place. So I'm going to wind down my trip right now with you with these last 10 questions. If you can survive these 10, we've made it.
Okay.
All right. So number one, which superpower would you most like to have?
I think it would be amazing to be able to heal others, seeing them in pain or in sorrow and being able to uplift and heal them.
Well, you kind of do that when you cut hair, right? I mean, I got this
In
really
a
bad
sense.
haircut. I come into your location and you make me feel better and better about myself. I have this great experience.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of your heart. What is your personal motto?
Living the dream. I'm living the dream.
Yeah, there you are. Other than where you live now, where else in the world would you most like to live?
I'm coming to California. I
That's
repped
right.
my
So
California
that's why
shirt
you're
today
wearing, okay, Frankie
for
Delgado.
Chad, and shout out to Frankie Delgado
she's
for
coming
helping. I'm coming to California.
San Diego.
Okay.
I highly recommend, or Santa Barbara. We'll take you. Who is a celebrity you'd most like to meet one day?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't really kind of get hyped up over certain celebrity type things, but one person I love is Chelsea Handler. She's a comedian,
Yeah.
and a lot of people see her as very harsh or a comedian, but when you really, I've read a lot of her books, and she does a lot of good behind her humor.
Okay.
She doesn't just use it as some people see it as, odd ways, but she does a lot of good behind it, so
Okay.
I think it'd be awesome to meet her.
Which words or phrases do you most overuse?
I think
Okay.
I think it's a natural just
Mhm.
also watch your tongue. Don't speak too fast, so just kind of the
Okay.
pause. I don't know what else.
All right. Not yins?
Oh, yins, I definitely use
I think if you
yins.
use it once, you use it too much. That's just my personal opinion, being originally from North Carolina. Y'all is the proper way to say youans.
By the time he goes home, guys, he'll be
Okay,
saying
all right,
yins.
we'll see. What sound or noise do you love?
Laughter. Hearing people happy.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Whiners or excuses.
Oh boy, you've hated the last 2 days in the car with me. I can just tell, man. That's all. It's been nothing but whining, from how cold it is here to how hot it is here to the construction and the tunnels. Anyways, number 8. What profession other than your own would you have been good at, or at least have wanted to try?
I think psychology. A lot of my friends tell me I'm a good listener,
Mhm.
and I think that plays into being a stylist
Yeah,
as
for
is.
sure. I mean, you're doing it
We
already.
listen to a
Yeah.
lot, but the little bit I did go to college, I did take a few psychology classes,
Nice.
and it really interested me the way that a lot of that works.
Mhm. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Seeing some of my teams successful.
Many of your teams.
All of my teams
Yes.
as successful as they are,
Yeah.
and I have people come up to me and quite often and say, I want to do what you do.
Mhm.
How do I get there? And that just makes me feel great that I can be an example for people that they can see that I can make it there.
Mhm.
Sometimes you see the big stage or the big things as something that you'll never make it to as a stylist. Only certain people get there, and they see that they're in a great spot with a great company that they can.
Last but not least, you ready?
Okay.
And then you're done. You can drop me off at the airport and just kick me out. If heaven indeed exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome home. Welcome home. We're waiting for you.
Nice. Well, hey, you're a Hall of Famer, artistic team member, one of my favorite coaches in
Oh,
one of my
thank you.
favorite markets, and now one of my favorite podcast guests. So we will definitely have to do this again. How about this? When you win Coach of the Year at some point at a huddle, we'll have a follow-up.
That sounds
And-
great.
and
So
we'll-
next year,
Okay, let's do
So
it.
next year,
Next year.
we'll have the follow-up.
Yeah, and we'll talk about more stuff about, hey, how did you win Coach of the Year? What did you do? And all that kind of stuff. So I can't wait for that podcast. This one's been fun. It's been a great week.
Thank you. It has been, and it's been a great week having you in town. Everyone has been super excited
It's
with all
been
the
awesome.
shout-outs.
You
So thank
did
you.
did a great job prepping everybody. So we've had fun. So thank you, Maria. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll have another edition for you next week. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, look at
Is that
that,
okay?
man. Yeah,
Okay.
37 minutes.